Hello and welcome to the fourth round of the UCI Women's World Cup. We're here at the Flèche Wallonne, which of course takes in the iconic climb of the Mur de Huy. Myself and Rochelle Gilmore here, ready to bring you the action, and everyone is ready to cheer on the women's peloton. Here's the standings after round three. Jolien Dora is the leader in the white jersey with 220 points, and last year's winner Lizzie Armistead in second place with 195. 143 riders taking to the start. Here's Elena Amalusic and her Velocio SRAM teammates, and let's hear from some of the race favourites, including the world champion.
Yeah, I think for us we want a difficult race, so we want to be offensive, and yeah, I know the last time is good for me, so yeah, for me I want to wait and see what's happened.
It's epic. It's one of the classics. It's exciting. It's hilly. It obviously finishes up the iconic Mur de Huy. This year they added a new climb, so it's one of the highlights of the calendar.
We won the first World Cup and the second with Elisa, so we will see how we will go today, but for sure it's not for me today.
It is going to be for Elisa. You've been on the podium twice. You won Flanders. You are very self-confident at the moment. How do you feel about today?
I feel good. I don't think I can win the race, of course, because there are a lot of other girls that are strong and they want to win, and all the teams are well organized. We will try to do our best, and the Mur will decide who's the strongest.
I think today's going to be a hard day. This race is always hard, and everybody really races it. For the Huy, it always hurts, and hopefully the race happens before the final, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm in great shape, but I think this is really something else than the Energiewacht Tour. But I'm in great shape, and you need it for a race like this. So it's Flèche Wallonne. It's an important race, and it's a nice race. So.
Yeah, I absolutely love Flèche Wallonne. I really love the Mur de Huy, the finish, and of course, it's always a dream to win on top of the Mur. So, I'm hoping that this year I can better on my previous results, and of course, hungry for the win.
Well, Rochelle, there's a real air of expectation here as we see the leaders and the world champion at the front.
Well, we've just heard from a lot of the race favourites. You see a nervous face there on Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, but she's amongst one of the strongest teams here of Rabobank today, so she can rely on her teammates to put her in a great position, but we think the Rabobank team's going to be quite strong today.
Let's take a look then at the route for today's race. 121 kilometres in the Flèche Wallonne, and of course categorised by the Mur de Huy, which the riders will crest on two occasions. This route is different to last year though, because the Côte de Chirave is going to take the riders up a little bit of a different run-in to the finish.
There's been a lot of talk, Anthony, about the climb before the final Mur de Huy. That could make a significant difference, probably favouring the more stronger riders today, having that extra climb just before the finish.
Well, we know that the Mur de Huy is very, very tough, isn't it, as a run-in to initially, and then really makes your legs hurt on that final run-in to the finish. But the Côte de Chirave is going to be a springboard, perhaps, for some of the climbers to get the attack going on the run-in to the finish line at the Mur de Huy. Oh, bit of a crash there, one rider hitting the deck, and that looks like it is Chikina who has crashed, so hopefully she'll get back on the bike quickly. But Wiggle Honda with Anna Sanchez at the front already.
Well, they'll be looking to ride for Elisa Longo Borghini again after her victory in Tour of Flanders. Obviously got some good form.
There's Marina Likanova of the Futon Cerveto team, who have a new addition to their squad for this race, and that is Yolanda Neff, who we saw ride so well in a previous round. Christian Majeras of the Boels Dolmans team, the Luxembourg champion, cresting the top of the climb to take a few points. And we'll go past some lovely chateaus along the way.
Well, this is Kart Hannes from Top Sport Vlaanderen, lighting up the race early, so wants to get the bunch moving. You see there's a little bit of reaction there from the bigger teams. They want to keep it together because the real business end of the race is going to happen after the first time over the Mur on the second lap.
So we've got an initial circuit of 57.5 kilometres before we get back to the Mur. It looks like here Wiggle Honda really keen to keep this race nice and tight and compact, because of course they have done so well in the World Cup so far, and the leader just coming across.
Yes, that's Jolien Daughter wearing the white jersey of the World Cup leaders, so she's just closed that down. She's in a domestique role today for her teammates. Obviously had a really good Drenthe winning there, and then second at Tour of Flanders, so she wears the World Cup leaders jersey, but just controlling the peloton there. So this might be the reason why. So one of the favourites of Wiggle Honda today, Mara Abbott's had a pretty heavy fall, and that's why you might have seen a couple of the Wiggle Honda riders move to the front trying to control this peloton.
Well, she's certainly hurting there. You could hear her screaming a little bit. A lot of pain for Mara Abbott, who is of course previously an American champion and the winner of the Giro. 90 kilometres to go on the Côte de Belair, and it's still Boels-Dolmans. Evie Stevens on the right hand side of the screen, a winner of this race in 2012.
Well, it'll be interesting to see which cards Boels-Dolmans play today, because we've seen the duo of Lizzie Armitstead and Alan Van Dyke in the past, but there might be two riders we see in a domestique role today, because they've got Evie Stevens, like you said, she's had a result, but also Megan Guanya, who had a fantastic ride at Strada Bianchi to win that race. So they've got a lot of cards to play here today.
Well, the riders continuing up this climb. Majerus sitting second wheel. Rabobank also with a lot of riders, and well done to Mara Abbott because she has now chased her way back into the peloton, and with the tempo not too bad at the front, it means that she can now make her way through this peloton, get herself back at the front and say hello to the rest of the Wiggle Honda team.
Well, I think they'll be pleased to hear that Mara Abbott's back in the race, because that was their duo of Elisa Longo Borghini and Mara Abbott, their secret weapons. If they can get those two riders to the bottom of the Mur on the last lap, they might be in the game. We see on the right of the screen there, that's Elisa Longo Borghini, but Boels-Dolmans there, they're controlling this race at the moment.
About 500 metres now to the top of the Côte de Biassou, and a few riders starting to struggle at the back of the race, as we see number 124 coming back into the peloton. That was Lauren Hall, but this rider certainly is putting on a great show in this Flèche Wallonne so far. Christine Majerus looking so dominant on all the climbs. She's hardly off the front.
Yeah, we've seen her a lot at the front, and it's interesting because Rabobank did say, or Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, before the race they wanted a very hard race. Speaking of Pauline, she's had a mechanical here, very relaxed on this climb. We'll see how fast her team can get up to her and get her a spare wheel.
Yep, she's going to take the back wheel out there, but you can see how experienced Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is, Rochelle. You're touching on it there. No panic whatsoever.
No, she pulled over, she put the gear in the right, sprocket, and she got off a bike and she started to take the back wheel out, very relaxed, waiting for the team to come. She'll now use these vehicles just to move her way back into the peloton, but her team will also be aware that she's had a mechanical and be trying to control the front of the peloton.
Looks like one of the American riders just had a bike change as well. Their teammate left at the side of the road to wait for their team car, but the tempo is certainly rapid as we go downhill, and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot looks like she is rejoining now the back of the peloton, working her way safely through, and she'll get back up to the front as quickly as possible.
Well, it's interesting, we didn't see any of the Rabobank riders drop to the back and give her support there, but that would have been a decision from the director, knowing that she got a fast wheel change. She's on the radio now, you can see she's just talking to her teammates, letting them know that she's back in the peloton, everything's okay, and we can start racing again in a moment.
Ferrand-Prévot then was the winner of this race last year. She beat Lizzie Armitstead into second place and Longo Borghini into third. I just caught a glimpse of Laura Trott, the British champion, sitting very close to the front, having come back off her track campaign and riding for the Matrix Fitness Squad. On to the Mur de Huy now, 500 metres to go to the top, but it is a long tussle all the way up these very steep slopes. The average gradient just over 8%, but as you know, Rochelle, in the corners, if you go the wrong route, is 26.
Some of these corners are extremely steep, and you'll see there's riders on the inside that get the steeper part. There's riders that can be a little bit more in control of where they're going and push their way to the outside. You see Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, she's taken the outside of that corner, which is less steep than the inside, trying to conserve every little bit of energy. And I think you will see there that those Rabobank riders that are to the left of your screen, had planned to be on that side of the road during these parts of the climb?
Well, it's a little bit of domination here by the Australians, because Carly Taylor of the Lotto Soudal team is the rider who's on the front, just catching a glimpse of Rosella Rato, the best young rider in the World Cup in that maroon-coloured jersey. But it's Carly Taylor and Tiffany Cromwell who are leading their way to the top of the Mur de Huy for the first time. There's Carly Taylor in the red jersey, Evie Stevens alongside, and just behind Tiffany Cromwell, fading a little bit as we near the top.
Well, Carly Taylor would have been waiting a long time for this race this year, because it's a race that she loves and obviously excels at. And we've seen her riding at the front quite a bit for the Lotto team, so she's in control there, having a great climb the first time over the Mur.
Well, she certainly looks very, very comfortable. The peloton then completing the first circuit of 57.5 kilometres. But this race is really going to hot up as they make their way over the Côte de Charav and then race back here to the finish. Well, these riders, of course, need support behind the scenes, and let's hear all about the life of a soigneur.
I'm Goretti. I'm 23, so I'm one of the youngest of the team, so probably I'm the most youngest. Yeah, I'm from Spain. My role in the team is physiotherapist, and I'm working for Velocious Ram. I entered in the cycling world because I was racing, and I was riding myself. And then I just decided for study physiotherapist, and I get the opportunity to start in women's cycling. And yeah, this is how I get here. In our race days, our roles in the team is basically to give our best to the girls. We prepare bottles, all the race food, everything that they will need. So normally in the bottles, we have always mix, like isotonic, with a little bit of carbohydrates. We ask what they want for race, if they prefer to have water or mix. So we really prefer that they drink mix. For the race too, we have like little paninis. We do by ourselves, so we do normally like Philly and jam, or Philly walnuts and honey, or banana Nutella. We really look to have like natural food, because not always to have gels and bars are really good for the stomachs. After race, the important thing is the recovery. After, when we arrive to the hotel, just we make rice with tuna and some veggies, or just a sandwich. Massage helps in the recovery, so normally we do half hour, 40 minutes, because when you're working with the muscles, they make more blood to get in. So when there is more blood, that means that there is more oxygen. And then when there is more oxygen, that means fast recovery. For women's team, it's important to have women's physiotherapists or swannies, because women have the same feeling as the other women. And maybe you can say to a man, yeah, I have this feeling, and they will think that it's a stupid thing. When you're a woman, you can know what it is. They know that they will have everything, so they don't have to be thinking, oh, I need this, or I will prefer to have that one, or because they know that they will have it.
The women's Flèche Wallonne then heading around its second circuit. Still a big peloton of riders all together, as Liv Planter, Bigler, Lotto Soudal and Boels Dolmans all dominate the front of the race.
Well, all the favourites are in there and looking good today, but it is certainly a race between the big teams like Rabo, the Boels team, Wiggle Honda. They're all in there, and Orica AIS, we haven't seen much of them today.
Well, we certainly haven't. Well, they've still got a good team in here. Oh, problem for Jip van den Bos. Looks like another mechanical, and is looking for a bike change by the looks of things. Well, she'll get herself back into the race. An attack now from Lauren Kamansky of the United States of America squad.
That's a strong team, and they'll be radioed up today, and their director is Ina Yoko Tutenberg, so they've got a very, very classy director there informing them on when to make the moves. And this is a strong move by the USA rider.
Teutenberg, one of the legends of the sport, as Kamansky continues with this attack. Rides for the 2016 team in the United States, but riding over here in Europe as a rider for the United States of America squad itself. Looks like Iris Schlappendel now keen to get involved in the action.
She's been doing a very, very good job this year for her team. Bigler, it's a new team, but she's one of the strongest domestiques on the team, and we see here at Flèche, she's setting it up for one of her teammates. She has Annemiek van Vleuten and Ashley Millman, both riders with potential to be on the podium today, so you can see she's digging really deep there. Audrey Cordon, the French rider from Wiggle Honda, closely behind, closing the gap, trying to get Elisa Longo Borghini in the mix on the final lap.
Sitting third wheel is Tiffany Cromwell. I must admit, I really like the Dutch champion's bike, painted very specially in the orange colours as she looks around. And now the tempo calms down. Audrey Cordon looking to see where the rest of the squad are and catching a glimpse now of Lizzie Armistead on the right-hand side. Rumour is that Lizzie has been pretty sick over the lead into this race. It'll be interesting to see whether she does have the power to go with the moves on the Mur de Huy. Another big attack.
Well, this is Lizzie Williams of the Orica AIS team. She'll be riding for Emma Johansson. You see back in the peloton there, that was a very, very calculated move from the Orica AIS team. You see one of the riders move to the front there just to control the peloton a little bit and hope that Lizzie Williams can get across to that solo USA rider.
Yeah, just a reminder then, Lauren Kamansky is the solo leader of this Flèche Wallonne. A lovely study there of Iris Schlappendel doing her work, and you can just see the gritted teeth, but it looks now like Lizzie Williams has caught Kamansky and the lead is now 20 seconds.
Well, it's great to see that they're out there having a go. They're not the best climbers, but they're just trying to put pressure now on the other teams. So at the moment, the USA team and Orica AIS have the upper hand because it's the other teams, like you see, Bowles, that have to get on the front and pull this back. And what a job Majuris has done today for her teammates.
She certainly has done. You can never underestimate a teammate like that who's able to ride on the front and make sure that everything comes back together when you need it. To another big attack from Rabo Liv.
Well, that's Lucinda Brand there putting the pressure down with Megan Gagne covering that from the Bowles-Dolmans team. So as we said, Rabobank want to make this hard and they're starting to light the race up now. They've just caught Lizzie Williams, who was dropped off the American rider.
And Lucinda Brand, the winner of the Plouay World Cup last season, with that magnificent victory. Garnier low, the tempo looking very good. Just noticing a little bit of taping on that left knee, though, for Garnier.
Well, it's very hard to tell what Bowles-Dolmans are doing here because, like you said, Lizzie Armistead has not been well this week. We've seen Ellen Van Dyke on the front for the team as well, so they may be riding for Gagne, but she's very well placed at the front. And we see now Ellen Van Dyke just chasing down this sole breakaway.
Kamansky is now just in front of this peloton, so she's going to take on a little bit of food and she will now be caught. A good bid for victory by Kamansky, but the might of Bowles-Dolmans and now Tiffany Cromwell riding across to her means that this breakaway is over.
Well, Tiffany Cromwell, certainly an exciting rider, and she's coming into some good form to be able to do this so close to the finish. She's just chased that down. She's been heavily marked by Ellen Van Dyke. And now we see, this is what I love about cycling, Anthony, when you see riders like a World Cup leader actually on the front doing the job for their teammates.
Yeah, one day it's all about you, and then the next day you are riding constantly for the rest of your team. There's Longo Borghini. What a magnificent victory she had in the Tour of Flanders, sitting second wheel now, and Armistead is also there. Meanwhile, at the back, there's a lot of riders who are finding this tempo very tough, and one of them is Mara Abbott, suffering after that crash.
Well, we didn't expect to see this from Mara Abbott. She's just come off some really good form with a win in the United States, but unfortunately she's probably had a little bit taken out of her after that crash. And now we see a move from Annemiek van Vleuten of Bigler, closely followed by Knaderman, and Lizzie Armistead there just having a little bit of difficulty trying to close that gap for the Bowles-Dolmans team.
Well, that's incredible. You don't often see Lizzie Armistead unable to close a gap, and it's Van Vleuten and on her wheel Roxanne Knaderman who are going clear. Van Vleuten, in fact, was the winner of the World Cup, remember, in 2011, and looks now like she's coming onto some very, very good form. Knaderman, the daughter of Jerry Knaderman, who was a legend of the TI Rally team.
Well, it's a very smart move by Roxanne Knaderman to put herself there, because Annemiek van Vleuten, she wants to work. She's the only one that's going to work this break, because Rabobank have some seriously strong riders behind in the chasing group.
There's the peloton then, making their way into Huy. They'll go over the Côte de Chirave and then they'll descend very fast downhill back into Huy. And that is what we're doing now, and we are seeing 3 riders at the front. And Anna van der Breggen has now made her way across to make it a trio of leaders. Van der Breggen, who's finished 3rd in the last 2 World Cups in Châtillon and in Flanders, turning now to the final climb.
Well, Knaderman now, she's decided just to do all the work on the front to keep this away and give Anna van der Breggen a real good chance of victory here, because she's come off good form. She won the first stage at Energy Walk Tour and then the last stage also, so she's in fine form. We heard from her before the race saying that I've got some good form today, so she's in a perfect position now.
Onto the climb, the Mur de Huy, as we see now a move, and that is coming from Anna van der Breggen, who is looking to try and distance the rest of these riders. And it is Roxanne Knaderman who's suffering first. Van Vleuten looks to be able to go with the move.
She's digging very, very deep to hold on to the wheel of van der Breggen. We see she's lost it now, so it's going to be very, very difficult. Van der Breggen looks like she's got some really good form, and this has been a fantastic race so far by the Rabobank team.
It certainly has. Van der Breggen going the long way round that corner so she doesn't hit the steep section. What a season she's had so far. She won the Het Nieuwsblad. She was 2nd in Le Samin. She's been 3rd in the last 2 World Cups. As we see Van Vleuten, the effort just rocking side to side to keep the momentum of this bike going forward.
Oh, it's great to see Van der Breggen here coming off some great form. She looks very strong. She's not got far to go now, so it looks like she might have this one. But what a fantastic ride by her and her team today.
Very, very impressive from Rabo Liv. I heard her yesterday describe the Mur de Huy as horrible, is exactly what she said. But right now, she will be looking around and thinking it's not that horrible, because she's got 75 metres to go to win a World Cup. Anna van der Breggen being cheered on by the fans. She checks again. Don't worry, Anna, because there is daylight. You've got time to sit up and savour the victory. She wins the Flèche Wallonne.
You see Van Vleuten now coming in the background. That's been a fantastic ride for her. But there's a rider closing in from the Bolstolmans team. Oh, Van Vleuten crosses the line. She's happy with that. Very, very happy to be back in fine form.
Looks like it's going to be a 3rd place finish for Megan Garnier of the Bolstolmans team. Another good result for her, but sitting on the tarmac is this year's winner. Another victory for Rabo Liv, and this time to Anna van der Breggen. What a stunning climb.
I think this is one of the best races, and if you win it, the feeling is unbelievable. I know the Mur is really steep, and I think for me waiting is not the best option. So I knew I had to go and ride my own speed and make it hard the whole Mur, and then yeah, I felt good today. And if the win is so close, then you fly up on the Mur van Huy.
A magnificent day for Anna van der Breggen as she wins the Flèche Wallonne World Cup, the 18th edition. She takes it in 3 hours, 18 minutes and 46 seconds. Annemiek van Vleuten, and in 3rd place was Megan Garnier. There's the top 20. Lizzie Armistead, last year's World Cup winner, in 21st. All smiles on the podium for this talented youngster from the Rabobank Liv team. She's presented with the trophy and the flowers, but you have to admire the way she took that race on, Rochelle.
Absolutely. She came in with good form. She knew that she was in a position to win, and like she said, when you come into a race this big with this much form, you have to make the most of it.
Here's the standings then after 4 rounds of this UCI Women's World Cup. Van der Breggen now moves into the white jersey as the leader of the World Cup standings. Van Vleuten into 2nd place. So the white jersey now on the shoulders of yet another rider.
Well, Anna van der Breggen was a very deserving winner of that jersey today, and she's certainly a rider that could hold on to the World Cup leaders jersey until the end of this series. Nieuwe Domme, she wears the young riders jersey, an impressive ride today, and she's a very big star of the future.
Christina Majerus, today we award the Suffer Prize presented by the Sufferpest to one of the top domestiques in the peloton. You must have been working at the front of the peloton 50 kilometers?
Yeah, it was a tough day in front of the peloton, but that was my job. So I had to work for my two leaders, especially Megan and Evie. It's all about finding the best speed for everyone, also for me, because I have to keep going and do it again and again. So yeah, in the end, at 90k, I had everything empty. So then I decided that I just did a training ride to the top to the Mur de Huy.
Well, that's the spring over. 4 rounds of the World Cup completed. We're going to head now to China for round 5. From Rochelle Gilmore and myself, Anthony McCrossan, bye for now.